Guys, something serious just happened in China that has never and will never happen in Nigeria. Guess what? The government and the people of China has sent a political leader to RIP for looting the commonwealth of the people to the tune of $400 and something million. Yes, I began to wonder, what are you going to be using all this money for? But come to think of it, this is the reason why these countries keep developing. Recall that some time ago, Senator Ali Ndume in Nigeria had recommended that the National Assembly should pass a bill for capital punishment to any politician that loots the commonwealth of the people in Nigeria. But guess what? Your guess is as good as mine. The National Assembly never approved that bill. I'd like us to jump right into Arise News, where Dr. Ruben Abati, Ojini Kaukwe, Rofai Useni, and Ayo discuss the circumstances that surround the sending of this political leader in China to RIP. Do well to intentionally touch the like button. I want this video to be recommended so that more Nigerians can get to see what is happening in foreign nations.
Well, let's take our final story now in China, where the country has executed a former official from Inner Mongolia, Li Jianping, for embezzling approximately 3 billion yuan, which is about $412 million. Li, who served as the party chief of an economic development zone in Hohhot City, was convicted of bribery, embezzlement, and collusion with criminal syndicates. The execution highlights President Xi Jinping's intensified anti-corruption campaign within the Communist Party, aiming to eliminate deep-seated graft among officials. Dr. Abati, when I saw this story, I just remembered, was it Ali Ndume, who was advocating, I believe, for capital punishment for corruption as well? We don't have capital punishment for corruption at this point, but this is what's happening in the Communist Party. And in China. And I also wanted to clarify or bring up the story about the death for foul story we took yesterday. I believe the former Attorney General of your state has highlighted some facts, saying that the boy was convicted for severe armed robbery, not just stealing a fowl as well. Dr. Bati, a quick comment before I take our good news report.
What Mutalubi Adebayo SAN pointed out yesterday is that while the governor of Osun State, Governor Adebayo Adeleke, has the constitutional right, to grant pardon, to commute sentences, he said he does not have the right to do a review of a decision that has been taken by the court, and that this will expose the judiciary to not just ridicule but also to danger. He said that when Justice Oyeyide Falola of the Osun State High Court, that the issue was armed robbery, and that it is not about stealing of fowl as reported. He gave the facts of the case, that there was a police officer who was attacked in his house, and then at the end of the day, his belongings were stolen. He said, not fowl. And he was very strong about saying the social media is misinforming the public, and that the social media should stop misinforming the public, that this is clearly a case of misinformation. Now, Sunday Murakiyo is the person involved whose parents appeared in that podcast with Biola Adebayo. In other words, what the former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Osun State tried to do is to offer clarifications. But what nobody can take away from all of this is that the governor has the power, to commute sentences.
Yeah, and
what I find curious here is that Mutalabi Adebayo, pointed out that, look, since that person was convicted 14 years ago, there has been no recourse to any appeal. Which is within the rights of the convicted person to go on appeal and asked the court. But he's trying to defend, in his own case, Adebayo, that is, the judiciary, and saying there should be no conflict between the functions of the executive and judiciary.
All right.
But Governor Adeleke saying Osun State is a state of justice,
yes,
expressing concern. He has spoken as a human being.
Absolutely.
As somebody who heard the story, who saw the story brought to his attention, and he showed interest in it. And it is his intervention that has now brought out these other dimensions.
All right.
And to that extent, I think the governor is still in order.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Abati.